Hey, Tom here, Flip Anything USA. So on my channel, I share how I've made my fortune in real estate. I've been doing this for over 41 years now. I bought my first property at 19 years old. I was a millionaire by 27. And that was in the 80s. It's been a long time now. There's not a better way to make money. There's a lot of fake gurus out there. 95% of the guys that are teaching this stuff are frauds. And I'm not saying that about Pace Morby. We're actually going to do a video review on Pace Morby, Failing Real Estate Market, Think Again, Part 1. He's into Subjectto. That's something that I've never been crazy about, and I don't know that I see things the way he is. I've already watched this video. I'm going to watch it again with you, and I'm going to give it a review.
It's the best thing I ever did!
If you just got here for the first time, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, but the main thing is hit subscribe. Don't lose my channel. I urge you to hit that subscribe button. So let's get to the video. And if you, by the way, I've got a book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. It's been a bestseller on Amazon, Audible. Don't miss your chance to get that either. Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. So this is the beginning of the Pace Morby video, and I may speed him up just a little bit just so we can get through a little quicker.
Think about the opportunity we have. People have been accumulating 2%, 3%, and 4% interest rate loans for the last 5-6 years, and now they can't sell those houses without Subjectto. It's crazy. I saw this coming 5 years ago, and when people were getting 2%, 3% interest rates loan, I was like, I'll pick up that house in 5 years. I'll pick up that house in 7 years. I'll pick up that house in 9 years. You guys are part of the greatest flow and greatest change in real estate in creative finance ever in history. All the previous educators that I look up to, they never had this perfect alignment of everything, and you guys
now, so I don't know why he would be so confident. He doesn't look like he's old enough that he's actually been through this before, so I don't know why he feels so confident there's this perfect alignment. So, but let's gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and see if he can explain it.
guys have it. So a lot of times you guys will say, well, what does a good deal look like? And that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to show you what a good deal looks like. This is a deal that was sent to me yesterday, and it was sent to me by a wholesaler here locally, somebody who is a student, of course. They learned how to send deals to me. I'm also going to tell you guys what you can do with this deal. All right. So here we are, 21813 West Mojave Street in Buckeye, Arizona. So I'm going to copy, paste that into Google. It'll pull up like Zillow or whatever, and we'll pull up the pictures of it on Zillow. It's a newer house. It sold. So let's look at this. You get the story is right here. It sold a year and a half ago for $380. So what does that tell you? They probably have no equity. If the Zestimate says 419, they're never going to get 419 on this in this market, right? We already know.
So I don't know why he's certain that they don't have any equity in it. I don't know why he thinks that they don't have any money in it, but let's just go with his flow there that they don't have any equity in it.
Know that Zillow ain't gonna pay. Hey Zillow, how about this? You offer them 419, they still will walk out with no money out of their pocket. This is the thing that a lot of people just don't understand. I had a guy DM me last night. He's like, I can't believe that people would even do Subjectto. This is amazing to me. I've been in real estate for 12 years. I should pull this up and show you guys this DM. He says, I can't believe somebody would ever do a Subjectto deal. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? If they sold this house, right, and their ARV is 419, the market is getting hammered right now. If you guys do not understand creative finance, you are going to be left behind in this market. So take a look at this. 419, somebody sells this house on the market for 419, and an agent is involved, right? You got your seller, here's their house, you got an agent that's representing the seller, and here they are, and they go, all right, we're gonna go put this house on the MLS. Guess what happens? An agent has to go see that and then show that to their buyer, right? This is how this works, right? So that's the flow. Now you've got this group and that group essentially negotiating on a property. What does 419 look like after the house sells financially? Like, do I get 417? Do I get 411? What am I getting? Don Wong, there he goes. He says the average, and he knows this, the average amount of money it costs to sell a house in the United States is 10%. So if they magically sold the house for $419,000, which they can't, you take out the 10%, people just don't understand this. 3% goes to one agent.
I don't know why people don't understand that. I don't know. He must be talking to people that are very, very, very inexperienced. So basically, you got 6% going to agents, then you've got, you got title. And sometimes you're asked to pay a point on the bank, for whoever's buying it from you, which is also negotiable. You don't have to do it. There's all kinds of stuff that comes into play there. But I will agree with him that it is a hammered market. I'm going to fast forward through some of this stuff. But here, let's go. Let's watch the rest.
The seller was getting offered somewhere around $400,000. Now, what's the problem is that they owe $380 on their mortgage, And they're going to receive, after they pay all their commissions and closing costs, they're going to receive $360,000 after they sell their house through a traditional real estate agent. So what does this do to the agent? The agent means they won't get paid. Seller's not going to come out of pocket 20 grand to sell this house, right? This is a pretty obvious Subto deal. Guys, this is going to happen over and over and over. And just wait. Interest rates are going up 0.75%. And in 3 months, interest rates are going up another 0.5%. Do you think this is going to be the greatest time in history? Like, think about the opportunity we have. People have been accumulating 2%, 3%.
Just so you know, I don't see the opportunity yet, and I've been doing this 40 years.
And 4% interest rate loans for the last 5-6 years. And now they can't sell those houses without subjectto. It's crazy. I saw this coming 5 years ago. And when people were getting 2%, 3% interest rates.
He's starting to sound a little bit like Grant Cardone. I seen this, 5 years ago. I got my money right. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, Pace. So let's keep watching.
So I was like, I'll pick up that house in 5 years. I'll pick up that house in 7 years. I'll pick up that house in 9 years. I'll pick up that house in 15 years. It is crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know why you would be crazy about picking up a house in a declining market. Because what he just said was that market's getting hammered. The people don't have any equity. That means there's a lien on it. The bank has it maybe lien for as much as the market is. Let's just say his example, they owe 380 on it, and they can't sell it because they're upside down. Well, that's when you fall into short sales. That's when the banks, where you go to sell a property, if you're really as destitute as he imagines these people are, the bank, the bank doesn't want anything on their books. And, this subject-to stuff, when you go changing the title, when you deed it over to another entity, you risk an alienation clause and triggering a due on sale. It's like hot potato. The guy's passing off something to you. If you take it subject to, there's just no meat on the bone on this deal already. So I don't know why anybody would want it. Let's keep watching.
How powerful this is. You guys are part of the greatest flow and greatest change in real estate in creative finance ever in history. All the previous educators that I look up to, the guys that, kind of cut their teeth in the game educating, they never had this perfect alignment of.
Yeah, the guys that cut their teeth educating usually have never cut their teeth on actually doing this stuff, by the way.
Everything. And you guys have it. You have a perfect alignment of subject-to deals, seller finance deals. Absolutely crazy. So here's what my good friend Jamil Damji and I are doing is over the next year. By the way, this is what's cool about being in Subto, all you amazing students of mine. This is going to be a window. How long do you think this window is going to last? Minimum 4 years. Probably closer to 5 years. Here's the great thing about it. It's only going to get worse for the next 24 months. It's only going to get worse for sellers and agents. It's going to completely annihilate agents. Anyway.
Okay, so remember what he just said. It's only going to get worse over the next 2 years. Okay, those are his words.
Right, so let's look at this deal. All right, here we go. So 21813 West Mojave Street, Buckeye, Arizona. You guys can pull this up if you'd like. Check this out. The student, Deanna.
Actually, you know what? I just now noticed that it's showing the loan balance of $377,000. Okay, just notice that.
Meant to say entry fee, $28,000. Okay, so
now I don't know why he's going to this entry fee. So again, this is, if you're buying a property, you're going to put a down payment, and you're going to get the balance, financed. Now in a subject-to deal, I understand the concept, and I've done at least one of these deals in the last 40 years. Issue is that in this one, the $377,000, that's the loan balance. That is a lien on this property for $377,000. So let's keep watching.
They're getting offers. This is how they negotiated this. So pay attention. Why did they land on 405, not 400? Because the seller was getting offers at 400. If you remember, the seller was like, okay, well, I'm getting offers at 400. Our student comes along, sees the listing, lowering their price, sitting on the listing, right? They go in there and they offer 400 because that's what they heard. The seller had already received an offer, and the student says, if I come up to your number of $400,000, would you give me terms? Agent and the seller say, well, how's the agent going to get paid? Seller's going to walk away with, roughly $10,000 in the situation. Wholesaler is going to walk away with about $10,000 in the situation. Agent is going to walk away with $5,000, but there's not enough skin on the bone for that $5,000. So they bumped the price from $400 to $405,000, so the agent can get paid $5,000. And they switched the agent from being an agent to a consultant, so that $5,000 didn't have to go through their broker. They set it up as a consulting agreement. I currently have one of these going on with Kevin Cho. We're going to be doing a Zoom here pretty soon, all about breaking down and taking an agent from being an agent and turning them into a consultant, because now the agent is just consulting. They're not really brokering the deal, because I just went directly to the seller. In about a week, I'm going to close on a Subto deal with Kevin Cho here in Phoenix. Okay. Agent just texted me actually yesterday. She's so freaking happy and excited about creative finance. Here it is. Sends me like her business card and all that kind of stuff in here. And she says, I'm looking forward to learning from your business model so much. I wanted to make sure that their Instagram, she was getting followed by a fake Instagram thing. And she says, I have so many
Okay, look, I may jump past some of this stuff, so be prepared. If I skip through anything, it'll be stuff like this.
Opportunities to throw your way. Over 12 listings I can see right now that can't sell, that don't have equity. Are these the ones that you want? Right now, she just was like, oh my gosh, they're all over the market. Now I see what's going on. I can make so many amazing things happen. I coach this agent and that.
Okay, listen, this is where this begins to smell a little bit to me, and with all due respect, Pace, and I'd be happy to sit down with you and go over this and have a discussion about it. But you're talking about properties that you're talking about a crumbling market. In fact, let's just take a look real quick here. I pulled up the Zillow on this, and this is recent. And it's showing, he had 3.8, this shows that it sold for $395. So it sold for $395. When you sell something, sometimes the agents are going to give up, forfeit part of their, put it this way, the selling agent, one that represents the seller, sometimes it doesn't always get 3%. A lot of times it's like, hey, put it on the market for 1.5%, and whoever sells this thing gets 3%. That's not uncommon, which would be 4.5%, which would be $16,000. It's about $17,000 on this deal. So 17, that leaves, it doesn't leave a lot of money left for closing fee and title, but it's not impossible to do, and maybe the seller would have to come out of pocket a little bit. It's not impossible. It's in a crumbling market. Believe me, agents want that commission. They'll take what they can get. They understand. They're business people too. They want to make some money. But this is what I want you to pay attention to. Why would this be so attractive? Look at this. In the last 30 days, it's dropped 3.9%. Okay? So think about that. It dropped $16,471. Now, he said his own words were that this was going to be a decaying market going down the tubes over the next 2 years. Well, if this is a trend going down 3.9, let's just say it's 3.9 a month for, 4 or 5 months. Well, 5 times 16, that's $80,000, almost $90,000 right here, that this potentially could go down in the coming months. Now, what's the benefit of holding on to a property that is now worth, in this case, if it went down 90,000 from this, it would be upside down on the balance of the 377, even on a subjectto, because that 377 isn't going away. And the 377 is here, just to be clear. Remember here, look at loan balance 377. Behind my head, 377. So imagine, you're going to be down to this 377, basically in a month and a half, going by the current trend that Zillow is referring to. It's dropped 16,000. Zillow's not exact, but it's a point of reference, and that's why he's using it as well. But again, he said things are going down the tubes, and it's going to be that way for 2 years. So I don't see the huge opportunity in buying a property. Well, I don't care if you got a 3% on 400,000 when it's worth, it's worth 300,000. So again, then you have to kind of do the math. It's always all about math, by the way, folks. It's always about the math. You follow where I'm going on this.
She was getting followed by a fake Instagram thing. And she says, I have so many opportunities to throw your way. Over 12 listings I can see right now that can't sell, that don't have equity. Are these the ones that you want? Right now, she just was like, oh my gosh, they're all over the market. Now I see what's going on. I can make so many amazing things happen. I coach this agent and that agent. Okay. I always coach the agent. Go talk to your broker.
The math doesn't work. The math just doesn't work. You're in a declining market and you're buying a property, or you're taking over a property, or whatever you want to call this subjectto stuff. you're taking over a property with a lien. There's no, like he's his own words, there's no equity. They have no equity. And it's only going to get worse.
Broker that you have no solution, there's no equity, and ask the broker for a solution. Guess what's going to happen? Your broker is going to say, I don't have a solution. So when now you've posed the question, you've applied the pressure, the broker doesn't have a solution, then the agent is coached by me to say, okay, well, what if I find somebody that would be willing to take over the payments and just pay me as a consultant? Would you be okay with that? Broker, on both of the deals that we just are doing right now, both brokers.
Okay, so no, what he's saying is not that far-fetched. You can, listen, I've paid agents, in other words, I'll tell you what I've done. I've made deals where, you know, I'm loyal to brokers in general. Not that I don't let anybody represent me. No, I'm not married to any of them in that respect. And I always try to go generally to the listing broker. But if somebody brings me something that, you know, as an agent brings me that another broker has, I go through them. But at times it becomes difficult and they become an obstacle. And so what I'll say is, you know what, I'll just let me deal direct with the selling broker. And that's because so the broker will get all the commission, and I might negotiate that down some. But what I will always do is I may just say, here, let me give you $3,000 or $4,000, and you just step aside, and I'll deal with the broker direct. Now that can happen. So let's keep watching.
When applied pressure properly and pitched properly by saying, hey, broker, I've had this listing for 3 months. I can't sell it. What would you do? You think the broker wants to be in that pressured situation to actually have to answer that question? You guys know any brokers that actually have the answer to that question? I don't. So Scott says it will damage the relationship between the agent and the broker. No, it won't.
Yeah, the broker can't help that the guy is upside down in his mortgage. And if he's upside down in his mortgage, typically if the guy's destitute, you go to the bank and you say, listen, he's upside down. He's going to go belly up. Will you market to market and, you know, take a hit? And sometimes the banks will. And they have in the past. That's the opportunity I see there for the guy to get rid of it. Because believe me, when you do a subject-to and you hand over, let somebody else take over your property, you're in a little bit of jeopardy in as much as if you don't make those payments yourself, or you make sure that those payments are made, you could ruin your credit as the seller of the subject-to, of the transfer, I guess you would call it. I don't know if you want to call it a sell. So let's keep watching.
As long as you pitch and you do things properly. I love the thought process, but change the thought process about the pitch, right? The pitch to the broker now is, hey, broker, we got this listing in Buckeye, had it for 4 months. It's not selling. I'm worried. I'm looking really, really bad here. It's making me and everything in our brand look bad that I can't sell this house. What do I do? Pause.
I don't think.
What's that?
I don't think brokers feel that way. I just don't. I'm telling you, I know a lot of brokers, they'd say, take a hike. I don't care.
Imagine, what's that broker going to say, Scott?
Take a hike.
Do more open houses. Do more open houses. Because that's the only thing that agents have in their back pocket as like some amazing, do more open houses. Okay. But what's funny about brokers is brokers know something amazing is they know that open houses don't sell houses.
And I'll disagree with that too, actually. Open houses do. People have time to go look for homes on the weekends, and a lot of beginning agents to get their feet wet. It's not a bad thing. They'll say, yeah, do an open house. You ain't got nothing else better to do. You can work on your laptop now, and they can still be productive while they're sitting there waiting for somebody to walk in the door, and then potentially they're the one that a lot of times they're just going to handle another agent that brings them in. Listen. Everybody walks through a house before they sell it. Open houses are not a waste of time. That's when you go to buy a house, what do? You go look at the house. I mean, you might go with the listing agent, or you may go with an agent that hopes to be the selling agent. But generally, open houses, it gives you an opportunity to walk into a home that's furnished. It gives you an idea how full it is, how much room there is after furniture's in the room. So I totally disagree, and I don't know any broker really that would necessarily agree with them. I know a successful broker doesn't want to sit in an open house. That's true. He'll have another agent do it for him, a junior agent, and that's a way of their cutting their teeth and figuring it out. Let's keep watching.
Do open houses actually do? This is an interesting thing. You guys should write this down. My wife's been an agent for 13 years, and she's been a top 1% agent for the last 8 years. Okay, an open house doesn't actually help the seller. The open house helps the agent, because people come into the open house that are looky-loos. They are not interested in that house at all. And the agent does open houses.
Listen, and there is always a certain amount of tire kickers in any business, that look and don't necessarily buy. Some are just kind of dream it, but that's not the case for everybody. Come on, you go into a house. I have houses in fact, you can watch some of my videos. I have houses where I have them filled with furniture, so that people can come in and walk walk in. And so some people don't have an imagination. They need to see the house filled in and lived in. They just can't see it. They can't imagine the washer dryer in the laundry room. They have difficulty picturing the fridge if there's not a fridge in the room. So I'll go with that. I'll put in washer dryers so that people can show a home like a model home, and people walk through it, and it makes it easier for them to buy. So totally disagree.
Okay, this is what they train you when you come out of real estate school. The only way they train you to go get listings or find buyers is go do open houses for other people's properties. Listen to me. People teach agents, you need to go build your business. So go call another agent and say, hey, I see your listing on 123 Main Street. Can I do an open house at that? And the agent's like, yeah, sure. Do an open house there. Why?
No, I don't know about that. But certainly when a broker has homes and you got the busier, it's called the 80-20 rule. It's also in my book. By the way, get my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. Been a bestseller on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. This will shortcut you on your path to making money in real estate like nothing else. I promise you that. Anyways, back to this. So a lot of things here I disagree with, and I've been doing this 41 years, folks. I have tens of millions of dollars in real estate. I have about 185,000 square feet of commercial, industrial, rentals. I have houses. I generally flip houses because they are subject to going up and down. I have bought 3 houses recently. I've sold 3, not the same 3, but I've sold 2 of the 3 recently that I bought recently. But there's always an opportunity to make money in real estate. I've been doing it for a very, very long time. And you definitely want to do it as well. And we'll get back to this again.
Stop and listen. Time is on a mission to eliminate all the snake oil and the fake gurus that fake y'all. He'll show you how to build an empire, starting with nothing but a desire. All you really need is a good mentor, not a used car bullshit. With time, you'll learn to crush it. Investing like Warren Buffett. With real estate, you cannot procrastinate. Everyone who hesitates is left at the starting gate. Hey, yo, so don't delay and join today. The mentorship and flip anything. USA, go.
Let's continue with Pace.
Why are they not worried about another agent doing an open house at their own property? Because they know it's not going to sell the house. It doesn't sell the house. It brings in buyers so that you can go find them another house. So let's go through this deal again. So
you have a house that somebody's upside down in. Listen, I'm just telling you right now, an agent isn't going to take a house that they can't sell. There's no reason to. There's just no reason to even take it. You're upside down. Nobody wants to, try to sell something for more than it's worth. It is a waste of time if that's where he's going with this. But I disagree with a lot of what he just said. Open houses do sell homes. I agree that it is where brokers will send new agents that don't have anything better. They're getting their confidence up, and that's how they do it. They get a little experience talking to people, that sort of thing. It's just part of the process for becoming an agent.
Really good. What's my down payment? Like my total cost, right? $10,000 to the seller, $10,000 to the wholesaler, $3,000 of closing costs, and $5,000 for the agent. Okay, so that's a lower entry fee, so $28,000. Now, a lot of you guys that are brand new are going to look at that 28 grand and go, "Oh my gosh, $28,000!"
He says entry fee. It sounds like you're going into a contest, which may be kind of how it is.
I don't have $28,000, right? Okay, well, perfect. It's because you're not thinking about it right. So, what is the percentage that I have to put down on this deal? So take 28,000. Everybody, pull out your calculator. This will teach you how to do this. Take $28,000 and divide it by 405. And what's the percentage? What is the percentage that I'm putting down?
It's roughly
total. My total 7% down payment. That's amazing. A 7% down payment on a house that's been recently fully remodeled for a 2.6% VA loan that will cash flow about $4, $5, maybe up to $700 a month.
Okay. Wait now, listen, that could be true, 100%, what he just said. But the devil's in the details. He's talking about you taking over a property, basically whatever, I guess the $377,000. You're going to put out $28,000, and now you're going to get whatever, $400 a month. Well, that's $4,800 a year. Okay, just call it $5,000 a year. But remember this difficult detail. The trend is on this property is that the property is declining in value 3.9%, $16,000. So while you're making $5,000 a year on this thing, the property is losing value at a pace of $16,000 or $471 a month. If you want to use this as a point of reference. So why would you risk the down payment to make $400 a month in a declining market? And he's referencing this, so I'm going to reference it too. When you have something that's going down at a rate that the property could be upside down, and in 5 months, this is roughly $90,000. So, just consider that.
Would you guys say that that's a good deal? Absolutely, this is a great deal. I see these all the
absolutely not a great deal.
Time. Now, what can I do with this? Okay, so why is this a good deal first and foremost? It's a good deal because of the cash on cash return. So let's go through this. Let's make sure you guys know what I can do with this property, because I want people that are they don't have 28,000 and in their mind, they got this limited belief system that they can't raise money. What could I do with a deal like this? What's the first thing I would do with this deal if I'm brand new? Number one, no. I should be wholesaling it.
Shit.
The student that is bringing it to me is wholesaling it and making $10,000. The student is making more than the agent. And the agent's making more, actually the agent's making more money than they would have because of the wholesale. Okay, we all agree with this. Pretty simple, right? I use our Subto contract paperwork, lock the deal up. I take that paperwork and I have another assigned contract with Pace called an assignment contract, and boom, done. Easy. People ask me all the time, how do I wholesale a Subto deal? The same way you wholesale any deal. You just use our paperwork. That's it. It's easy. So easy. Okay. Now there's other questions to talk about, like making sure that the buyer and the seller actually know who each other are, because there might be some situation where the seller and the buyer need to communicate. Done. Easy. I've talked about that in the training, so go watch that. Okay. The second.
This is a lot of hoops to jump through. I know it's all easy, but that is way too many hoops to jump through. So like I said, what we've already talked about is enough to kill the deal. So that to me, it just would be a waste of time. And I'm saying that at almost any level investor. Look, I understand when you're starving and you're new and you're trying to make some money, but there's a lot easier ways to make 10 grand than to go through this. I mean, I'm just being quite honest with you, and that's my feel. And I've been doing it a long time. So doing a wrap, that's what you call an all-inclusive trust deed. That's what a wrap is. It's like where you have like a master trust deed that wraps around everything underneath. Again, the numbers don't work. I'm just telling you. The numbers on this deal don't work. And just the common sense is going to tell you that. No matter what you buy it for, you're buying in a declining market. You say you're going to get a wholesaler. I mean, you're going to wholesale it to who? I'm an investor. I buy stuff from wholesalers. I'll buy stuff cheap. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. There's no meat on the bone. So, look, I'm going to take you guys over to my website, flipanythingusa.com. Now, I want you to take a look. This gentleman's 34 years old. He now, in about 18 months' time, he's made over $1 million in cash, net cash, okay, that he's deferred into buying 3 buildings that are worth about $3 million now. So he's made over $1 million, rolled it into the purchase of one industrial building, about 16,000 square feet, and he's got a really nice little retail strip center, and then a nice individual little retail property. I urge you to go watch this. Go to Flip Anything USA and watch. This is Rich, 34 years old, and he looks like he's got about $1.7 million equity now on $3 million worth of property. $1.3 million debt, $3 million in value, bringing in about $150,000 a year. This is one of my students is closer to my age. He's made $600,000 at this time, but he's made another deal where he's made at least another $500,000-$600,000 on. So he now has 2 very nice retail properties with over $1 million in equity, bringing him in about $72,000 a year. Tina, she's awesome. She's made $70,000 on a couple of lots. Ron here, also another rock star in the class. He's got about 33 properties. Every time I talk to him, he owns more. But he's up to right around $4 million last time I asked him. $4 million in property, no money of his own in it, and only, what did he say, about $1 million debt. So he's got about $3 million equity. None of his cash is in it. He's got all of his cash out. There's another video I have of him, and it's $707,000, one deal. Liam here, he's in New York. A lot of people say, oh, that's too much. It costs, everything's too expensive in New York. That's not true. New York, New Jersey, doesn't matter. Everywhere's the same. everything. And listen, you'll learn. I've been doing this for, like I say, 40 years. And when you have a mentor, this is how Ben Mala got rich. Ben had a good mentor. He'll tell you that what fast-tracked him was having a good mentor. And not everybody gets that. And that's what I do that's different than just about everybody else, is I mentor you. I show you how to go out and find deals, make the deals. And guess what? When you get caught in a jam, because there's different little barriers, you call me. There's nothing like it. This is I do a mentorship meeting every Saturday, just about every Saturday, and it's so cool to see guys in the class that come in that have never owned a property, and then 18 months later, they made $100 grand. I got realtors that had never made money as an investor, made over $100 grand. Mechanics made over $100 grand. Just since being in the mentorship. But I've only been doing this 2.5 years, and as far as I can tell, I have more testimonials than anybody out there. Even guys that have been doing this stuff for 10, 15 years on YouTube. Talking the talk, but you got to back this stuff up. I walk through my properties every week. I do something, and I'm showing the properties that I buy, the properties that I sell. I talk about the monies that I've made. I've made a couple $1 million on a single property, hundreds of thousands on properties in just a few months. Sometimes they'll tell you they wish they'd have found me first. So don't lose my channel. Again, hit that subscribe button and get in the class if you can. But number one, get the book. Start with the book. That's the place to start. And hey, thanks for watching, and we'll see you around. Thanks.